Hidden deep within the redwood forests of Northern California lies a place cloaked in mystery, power, and secrecy. A place where some of the world's most powerful men gather in silence, behind closed gates. It's not just a retreat. It's not just a club. It's something far more disturbing. Presidents, CEOs, and global elites, all meeting away from the cameras, far from public eyes, engaging in strange rituals and ancient ceremonies. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is Bohemian Grove. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on one of America's most secretive gatherings. What happens here has sparked decades of suspicion, countless investigations, and an avalanche of conspiracy theories. But what if some of it is true? You're about to enter a world of hidden symbols, forbidden footage, leaked documents, and shadowy alliances. Stay with us until the end, because the truth may be more terrifying than fiction. Bohemian Grove is not a myth. It's real. Tucked away in Monterey, California, this 2,700-acre forest retreat belongs to the ultra-exclusive Bohemian Club, an all-male society of the world's most influential figures. Founded in 1872 in San Francisco, the club was originally a gathering place for artists and journalists. But over time, it transformed into a powerful fraternity of politicians, media moguls, bankers, and tech billionaires. Each summer, for 2 full weeks in July, over 2,000 of the richest and most powerful men on the planet gather here. No media, no public access, no transparency. What goes on inside is protected by private security, local police, and sometimes even federal law enforcement. They say it's just a gentleman's retreat. But the secrecy, the rituals, the fact that U.S. presidents, oil tycoons, Supreme Court justices, and defense contractors attend, together, raises a lot of questions. At the center of the grove stands the 40-foot-tall owl shrine, where the now infamous cremation of care ritual is performed, but more on that later. For now, just know. Bohemian Grove isn't just about campfires and cocktails. It's a hidden world where the global elite whisper in the shadows. At sunset on the first Saturday of the gathering, something surreal takes place in the heart of Bohemian Grove. Over 1,000 men, some of the world's most powerful, dress in hooded robes, carrying torches through the redwoods. They march toward the foot of a massive 40-foot stone owl, surrounded by a lake and stage. The ritual is called the cremation of care. It's meant to symbolize the shedding of stress and worldly responsibilities. An effigy representing dull care or worry is placed in a coffin and set on fire, as booming voices recite ancient-sounding chants. But here's the thing. It's not just the theatrics. It's the fact that presidents, corporate elites, and even military generals are participating in something that looks and sounds like a pagan ceremony. To outsiders, it's eerie, disturbing, maybe even sinister. The owl, a symbol of wisdom, is central to the ritual, but some believe it represents something far darker. Alex Jones, a controversial conspiracy theorist, infamously snuck into the grove in 2000 and filmed part of the ritual. The footage went viral, sparking a frenzy of theories online. To many, this confirmed their fears, that Bohemian Grove isn't just a playground for the elite, it's a place of occult power and ritualized control. At Bohemian Grove, it's not just rituals and bizarre performances. It's the conversations that take place off-stage, conversations that, according to insiders, have shaped world events. Presidents like Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan attended. Powerful CEOs from companies like Google, Boeing, and Bank of America are known to be regulars. Even Henry Kissinger was a frequent guest. It's no coincidence. Some believe the Grove is where the real deals get made, far away from cameras, reporters, and accountability. In 1942, the Manhattan Project, the initiative that led to the development of the atomic bomb, was allegedly first discussed at Bohemian Grove. Let that sink in. The weapon that changed the course of history may have been planned at a secret retreat in the woods. More recently, rumors have swirled around discussions of economic policy, surveillance programs, even military strategies. Of course, no official minutes are taken. That's the point. There are no press conferences, no voting, just powerful men behind closed doors. And if they're deciding the future of nations while surrounded by redwoods and roaring fires, should we be worried? Is this networking at its highest level, or quiet collusion disguised as leisure? If Bohemian Grove is a playground for the elite, it's also a fortress of silence. Behind its towering redwood gates, the motto is clear: weaving spiders, come not here. Translation: don't ask questions, don't tell secrets, just enjoy the show. But over the years, some couldn't stay silent. In 2000, journalist Alex Jones infiltrated the Grove and recorded the infamous cremation of care ceremony, where a human effigy is burned before a giant owl statue. The footage shocked the internet. Hooded figures, fire, chanting. It looked more like a pagan ritual than a corporate retreat. But instead of transparency, the reaction from Grove members was fury. Security was tightened. Media access was denied. Anyone who spoke out was quickly discredited or ignored. Employees who've worked inside the club say phones are confiscated, no cameras are allowed, and silence is strictly enforced. One anonymous waiter described seeing world leaders completely uninhibited, drunk, laughing, and discussing things you'd never hear in public. Others say the rules inside are looser than most would imagine. Powerful men behaving badly, knowing there will be no consequences. Even journalists who try to cover the story find themselves blocked. Major networks don't touch the subject. Search results get buried. Some even claim social media posts about Bohemian Grove get mysteriously flagged or suppressed. Why the secrecy? If it's just a harmless getaway, why hide so much? The tighter they try to close the circle, the more curious the rest of us become. Bohemian Grove isn't just a secret meeting spot anymore. It's a symbol. From TV shows and films to music, videos and Reddit forums, the Grove has become a cultural icon of conspiracy and mystery. The Simpsons, Family Guy, and even House of Cards have dropped subtle references. Movies like Eyes Wide Shut and The Skulls echo the same themes: hidden rituals, powerful elites, and a public that isn't supposed to know. And then there's the internet, the real breeding ground for modern-day conspiracy theories. YouTube videos with millions of views analyze the owl statue, decode the ceremony, and theorize about satanic influence or New World Order planning. Some creators believe the Grove is a facade for occultism. Others think it's just another tool for political control, where policy is whispered between drinks under the stars. But here's the strange part. The more outlandish the theories, the more attention they get. And Bohemian Grove doesn't deny much. Instead, they laugh it off or refuse to comment. Silence becomes strategy. This lack of transparency only fuels the speculation. In a world obsessed with exposure and viral content, few things remain mysterious. Bohemian Grove is one of them, and that's why it continues to haunt the imagination. It's not just about what happens inside. It's about what we think happens and what they won't let us see. Why does it matter? Why should you care what happens at a private camp in the woods of California? Because secrecy isn't just a curiosity, it's a strategy. In a world where power is often hidden behind a polished smile or a corporate title, Bohemian Grove is a rare, physical reminder that some conversations, some deals, are never meant for the public. Think about it. When presidents, CEOs, and media moguls gather in private for over a century, what's really being discussed? And more importantly, why does it need to be hidden? This is not about paranoia. It's about patterns. It's about access. It's about trust. History has shown us that decisions made behind closed doors, especially when elite circles are involved, often have real-world consequences. Wars, economic collapses, political shifts. They often start with quiet whispers between powerful people. and Bohemian Grove embodies that exact dynamic. The club says it's just socializing. But why then the need for intense privacy, for elite-only membership, for mock rituals and ancient symbolism? Why not simply play golf or drink wine at a resort? Why the secrecy? Because secrecy provides insulation. It creates a bubble where accountability doesn't penetrate. And here's the scary part. What if this gathering is not an exception, but the rule? What if this is just one of many invisible networks shaping public policy, market decisions, and global agendas? That's the real reason this story matters. Bohemian Grove is not just a conspiracy curiosity. It's a mirror, a glimpse into how the world might really work behind the curtains. The less we question it, the more comfortable these elite circles become in operating without scrutiny. This isn't about finding proof of satanic rituals or secret pacts. It's about demanding visibility from the powerful, because when people stop questioning the elite stop being accountable. And the more we normalize secrecy, the easier it becomes to control a population that no longer even asks what's happening in the shadows. Bohemian Grove is more than a place. It's a reflection of systems, of silence, of how far removed we are from those who hold real power. Throughout history, the most significant shifts were never broadcasted. They were whispered, behind thick wooden doors, around private fires, or during harmless rituals. And what we've seen at Bohemian Grove is not an isolated tradition, but a pattern echoed in every shadow of unchecked authority. But here's what matters most. It only works if we stop paying attention. The secrecy survives on your silence. The rituals, the speeches, the handshakes in the dark, they all lose their power when someone dares to look in and ask, why? When we stop asking questions, we become part of the ritual ourselves, willingly or not, and that's why you're here, not to be entertained, but to be reminded. Reminded that history isn't written by accident, and power doesn't operate in the open. So what now? What can you do? Start by staying curious. Subscribe to this channel so you don't miss stories that others don't. Want you to hear. Hit the like button if this made you think differently about the world. Comment below. What's your take on Bohemian Grove? Do you believe in innocent tradition, or do you see a machine of control? And if you're someone who wants to understand how the next generation of power is shifting, not through fire rituals, but through artificial intelligence, data, control, and financial systems, check the link in the description for the AI Millionaire's Blueprint Plus workbook. It's a guide not just to make money with AI, but to understand who is building the next grove behind the screens. Don't just watch history, shape it. You've seen the truth. Now what will you do with it?